Hi, Jamie J. Miller, functional diagnostic health practitioner, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you will do me a big favor and subscribe, like, comment, and even hit the bell so that you know when new videos get posted, that will be great. I'm trying to grow this. I do videos all the time on Facebook, on lives, in my private Facebook group, send them out in my emails. But I haven't really put up a channel yet. And I feel like it's just definitely a time for that and a good place for people to go to get the information they need on my practice and how I help people really get some clarity on how to ultimately change the vibrancy and the frequency of their health from the inside out. We really dig deep. We really get through all the confusing crap out there, and we really stay hyper-focused to change what I'm gonna talk about today, which is how you identify yourself. And what's ironic is that, of course, identity is like a huge topic in mainstream media right now, if you're paying attention or not, which is fine. And I thought I would use the spin off that word to talk about when people get in touch with me and they do their intro call with me and they're trying to figure out, how my processes and services will be a game changer for them and make that decision whether to work with me or not. A lot of the things I do is listen on the phone with them about how they are identifying themselves. In other words, most of the time, 99.9% of the time, the people that I talk to on the phone are the way that they represent themselves, the way that they talk, the people that they hang out with, the way that they feel about their health is all representation of self-identifying as an unhealthy person. This is who they are. This is how people know them. This is the conversations that they have. Even their spouses and their marriages can be built on the fact that they themselves are an unhealthy person, and that's who they identify as. That's what their actions represent. That's what the makeup that they put on their face represents. That's their dialogue, and that is their limiting beliefs. And so even know that my whole practice is based off of processes, and many of the processes that I do with my clients and patients are similar or almost very much the same. They have different outcomes for two reasons. Because biology and DNA and everybody responds differently even to the same processes. But more importantly, because of the limiting beliefs that exist in the person that I'm working with. So it's absolutely crucial for me as a guide to make sure that we work on that right out of the gates. And one of the ways we do that is I work on them in 3 different areas to make sure they begin to identify as a healthy person instead of an unhealthy person. And this can be very triggering. This can be very uncomfortable. And so one of the ways we do that is obviously you recognize, we've already talked about that. I start to pinpoint ways that show them that what they're doing or saying is the identity of an unhealthy person. And I mean, light bulbs will go off. And because you're dealing not only with the conscious, you're also dealing with the subconscious. Sometimes they don't even realize that this is who they've become. And sometimes it's happened so gradually, they just aren't even aware. All right. And sometimes they're aware and they just keep making excuses. And the dialogue that follows through with that will never change their actual true identity. So by doing that, by recognizing, which is step number 1, then we go into deliberately creating actions and dialogue that helps them represent themselves as or identify as a healthy person. Now this takes time. It doesn't just say, oh, I'm gonna stop doing that, and you stop doing that. Again, like I just said, because you're dealing with the conscious and the subconscious, that it takes time to see these things come to fruition. All right, so we create a dialogue, we create action steps that helps change the internal DNA or the internal belief system that they've created. And just like our biology, our belief system is very much ingrained in who we are from the very beginning of existence. And so you can't even deny that. And so it takes a lot to change that. And even if you were trying to change your actual identity and changing your biology, you think about all that would go into that between surgeries and hormone shifts and things like that, and all the ramifications from that. It's the same thing. It can be the same amount of difficult to change our health identity, all right? And that brings me to point number 3 and why it's so important is because in order to change your health identity, you need accountability, you need a guide. And because we're working with the conscious and the subconscious, you need a third party to show you what the subconscious is. All right, and that's why in my programs and in my processes that I coach and guide, that's why they get such good results. That's why they get good results for anyone and everyone. Not that I can or will work with every person on the planet, but any person that starts these processes and works through these processes and creates a new dialogue and creates new actions and goes through the processes will get results and will get good results. And that's a bold statement to make, that I can help anybody and that everybody would get some type of really good result. How much the result is will depend on those two things: the DNA, how their body shifts and changes, and what we have going on biologically, but more importantly, how willing they are to re-identify themselves as a healthy person. All right. So again, the first thing is recognize. The second thing is to build a new action steps and dialogue. And the third thing is to get accountability, a guide, a third party to help you with the subconscious underlying limiting beliefs that you've created over time, completely unaware in some cases, that are keeping you in the health identity that you're in, which right now is unhealthy. And everything that you are doing says that. Everything that you are saying to yourself creates that. And so therefore it is, all right? It's not fundamentally difficult. It's actually pretty simple, but it's also not easy. So again, getting into a process that allows you to be held accountable and stay continuous as you break the cycle, and then also in the same breath, you're working on the biological processes to change your health symptoms. It's a win-win situation. All right, so I'm going to place down below ways that you can get in touch with me if you have questions about this, about the types of programs that I do, about my health processes. I'm also got a free 3-day, it's a 3 live event. I'm doing 1 live a day that is going on that you can register for. That information will be down below. Once you register for it, you don't have to be there. You can actually just register, and then the replays will come to your inbox, and they're going to give you a really in-depth detail about uncovering some of the nonsense around the catchword gut health and what is poor gut health, what that looks like, how you might be identifying as somebody with poor gut health, and how to actually change that identity, and what it looks like to do that. So that's the event that's coming up, I believe, next week. There's also a way to get on my email list, which always keeps you up to date. I do not spam you. I send out an in-detailed email, and then also a mindset email a week. And then let's see, there's also my private Facebook group that I tend to go in more detail of Q&As, and then Instagram as well. So there's lots of ways to get in touch or to stay in the know if you're interested in doing that. Again, hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I hope to at least get out 1 video a week. We'll see how that goes. I do have a life much like you and a family to take care of as well, but I am really committed to helping you re-identify as somebody who has a vibrant, energetic, and amazing health.